So, first of all, I would love if we could ride buses, but we can't. From Texas, because I at one time was just curious how far it was to Detroit. It's 20 hours, so that's not gonna happen. So, definitely, no.
You don't have to tell people it's 20 hours.
Yeah.
Okay,
Have you ever
so
heard of Google Maps? I'm pretty sure.
No. In the emails, we never mentioned.
We're going to
how long the bus
Oklahoma
ride was.
City, but really we end up in Detroit. Okay, that works. That'll work out. That'll
It
work
works.
out.
It does work.
So so I really like the idea of reaching out to the university more. I know at one time PennEps had once gone to the CS department. I saw some emails go around, but it happened once. I never saw them go through the department ever again. And that was even before I think we did the first Hack Texas. So what are your ideas? So getting the university to pay for our flights is what I would like. And how much money are we talking here that you think this would be a good amount?
David.
I didn't actually solicit it, but what I did was I was just browsing Facebook and messing around, and I wanted to hack something one night. Dave made a comment on his Facebook status, and I just added it as a friend. I'd never even met the guy, but I just added him as a friend because I saw he was in the hackathon scene, and I was into that, and I wanted to just make connections there. So one day Dave commented, and he was like, or somebody changed some text from on the like button to hell yeah on Facebook. And Dave was like, oh my God, somebody should make an extension, but he was just joking, right? He was like a Chrome extension. So 30 minutes later, I posted a Chrome extension that changed all the Facebook likes to hell yes. And then 5 minutes later, Keisha messaged me with a reimbursement offer for HackTech. That was pretty great.
We were looking more for someone who had got money from the school. Yeah, but it's all good. That was a funny story too. We're gonna bring David Mace up. It was worth it. It was worth it.
For getting money from the school, I mean, that's really just, Shariq has all the information you want to hear about that.
Yeah, so we went to one of our professors who we didn't really know because we're all freshmen, and we were like, hey, there's this hackathon convention we want to go to. And he was basically like, okay, we have tons of money and we'll give you up to $2,000. And that was basically it. It wasn't very hard. I think it might just be Caltech though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just we basically sent him an Expedia link. He booked the flights for us.
Now I know it's not going to work like that at UT. It's you have to book through their system and all this stuff. But yeah. Okay.
Has anyone succeeded in getting one of those branded sports team buses from their school?
Yes.
How?
So the sports teams buses are available at Maryland, at least, maybe not at other schools, are available for student organizations to use if the sports teams aren't using them already. Simple as that. It wasn't. We didn't pull any strings or anything.
Everyone's just getting lucky, man. It's crazy.
All right, so I'm the hackathon organizer and also the community organizer for Virginia Tech. And we have one of the largest communities in I would say maybe the country with over 300 people, but our university is extremely unsupportive of us. How would you suggest that we get anything working between us, because they're very much and hi Virginia Tech administration. Yeah, because it's very much we support you in spirit, but we won't give you any money and we won't send out any emails. So fun stuff.
Yeah, so I think was it Mackenzie from Bitcamp actually talked about this a little bit, and she brought up a few terms that are probably better than hacker to go to your school with. I wrote them down and I'm trying to look them up. I don't know if you remember them. So I think a lot of it comes down to what the school's already spending money on, what they're already allocating money for. Look for those words, look for those programs, and try to get in on whoever's making the budget decisions there.
Research. Entrepreneurship, innovation, don't fly.
We can figure out a way to brand this as research.
All right.
Hi, I was just wondering what you guys do to help, sustain that hackathon culture, the hacker culture, even before, and after the hackathon. And if you could speak about the F it, ship it movement and that kind of stuff. I just want to hear more about that.
Yeah, so actually, I wish those guys would have had the chance to come this weekend, but they just both hit up 2 hackathons in a row. So at Michigan, these 2 guys, we already had a weekly hack night through Michigan Hackers, but a lot of people were just like doing homework, and there wasn't that much stuff being shipped. So these guys, Austin Fight and Cole Cushion, you've probably seen their stickers around, started this thing called Fuck It, Ship It. And it's a little badass. Actually, this last Thursday, I think they deployed at 4 schools. Did they deploy at any of your schools? We're deploying next week. They're deploying next week. UCLA started on Thursday. They're trying to hit 40 schools by the end of the semester, and pretty much, Fuck It Ship It's just like a more, as you can tell, it's like a more badass hack night, and really the entire focus is on shipping something by the end of the night. So it's not that you can't work on homework. It's that like people are walking around. What are you working on? And when you say homework, that's really boring answer. So it's just about changing the culture and kind of building something that's like more sustainable. Like Hack Night is definitely the best way to start. Branding it as Fuck It, Ship It might be the right move at your school. It really depends on the culture of the hackers there. But the biggest thing that they did is that from the first Fuck It, Ship It all the way through is that they realized that they can manually convince, and Shariq talked about this, you can manually convince the top hackers at your school to go to these events. Like you can just one-on-one message people, follow up, be persistent, hustle, and you can one-on-one convince 50 people to come to a hack night every week. Hopefully, after a while, you wouldn't have to do that and become more sustainable.
Hi, my name is Eden, and so I started the first computer science club at my school, which is Brandeis. And so we didn't really have, we don't have a huge department, but in the last 3 years, it's doubled in size. So, and the reason I'm saying this is because we actually got funding to come here also. So what we did is just basically you can just find the head of your department. If you're in CS or CSEE, find the head of your department and just sort of get into contact with them. What we did is we just went to his office, knocked on his door, went down and sat down and said, we have a really good idea. If you want this department to grow even bigger and you want it to be a name for Brandeis instead of because a lot of people don't think Brandeis and think CS, but they could. So we just sort of convinced him. He's all right. After I think it took 15 minutes. He's okay, you have $400. That's all it really took. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of it does start with just going and talking to the department and everything. But at every school, it really, really differs. So at Virginia Tech, I know it's tough. At Austin, I know it's really tough.
Along the same point, I wanted to say that Shariq's worked very hard to make Terrapin Hackers just a big community, not just some club, just a big non-structured community. But to the university, that might not be so comfortable for them to understand. So when we won MLH and we had the stuff we could boast about, it made it look pretty like an official club. They could give us money and they would think that maybe there's these 20 dedicated hackers that are an official team, and they go to these events because they don't really understand. They didn't really know what a hackathon was. Our president of the university was tweeting, and he was making not typos. He was making errors as to what a technological competition.
And they're giving you a lot of money, right?
Yeah, they gave us money because it looked really official. So if you put a logo, give it a name, give it a Facebook account, it'll help. It'll help them giving you stuff.
How many people have gotten written about in their student newspaper? That's definitely the start. Reaching out to other students who the university sees, definitely one of the first places to go to.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Jeff. So this is actually a method similarly related to this topic, which I think I was kind of woozily talking about yesterday to some people. But there's something really powerful when you go to the administration of your school and try to convince them to do something. And you convince them through fear. For real, you can. The way to convince people is either through greed or fear. You can make them want something or be scared to not have it. And so, what we use in the startup shell, which is very closely associated with Terrapin Hackers, and I'm sure they've used the same method, is literally going to an administration and saying, if we don't do this, Maryland, other schools are doing this. Look at X school or Y school or Z school. They've done this. If you want to stay on the forefront, especially for engineering or comp sci, if you want to stay on the forefront of this scene, we need to do this or we will slack off. We will fall behind and we won't be the most prestigious engineering program on the East Coast. And that shit works. It's crazy. That's how you get a space. That's how you get money. That's how you get more buses. It's insane how much that works. Try it out.
Yeah, actually, LA Hacks had a really interesting thing. They made a slide deck, kind of talking about what the like value proposition of LA Hacks is. So hopefully, I can convince them to share that or something, because that would be really cool to have when you go to meet with the department.
All right, thank you guys. Let's give them another round of applause.